Thank you, Jim. It is such an honor to be here. I want to tell you a little bit of background about how I got to be where I am, because it wasn't by myself. And I think what's very important that people understand that there is a collective movement of bright, talented people to change not only the political landscape, but the narrative. Teacher bashing is a global phenomenon. It was designed, understand this happened with no accident. We are the only people standing in the way of total domination of a neoliberal agenda. Understand that. I had no idea that this was the pathway for my life. Let me explain something. I was supposed to be retired. I'm a little bitter, because those were my plans. Actually, I was supposed to retire 6 years ago. Yeah, I know, right? And I ended up transferring schools from a very horrible bully principal to a place where I felt I could actually work and teach, because I had a principal who understood what teaching and learning are really about and was supportive even in this toxic environment. And I realized that what I needed to do was judge principals by how they could keep as much garbage from central office away from the classroom. So I thought, great, I will retire in 2013 when I turn 60, and that will be my life. I will have done my job. However, things changed, clearly. In 2008, 8 of us were sitting around the table reading Naomi Klein's Shock Doctrine. That book changed my life, I have to tell you. I have been going along completely not paying attention to the real world. We all tend to have tunnel vision. And as a result, it's very easy for us to be fooled, bamboozled, or absolutely ignored. Because we have a tendency to just work on whatever it is we're doing and not see a bigger picture. Well, 8 of us sitting around the table grew to about 40. And Jenny Sims came to Chicago to visit us. Now, mind you, we were just classroom teachers and clinicians and paraprofessionals. We were not in any way, shape, form, or fashion leadership in the Chicago Teachers Union. We had to start making a decision about whether or not we would have an electoral strategy. We hadn't even really thought about it. And then Jenny Sims came. And we asked her about it, and she said, well, how many of there are you? On your executive board. And then after a few electoral sequences, you might be able to gain control of your union. And 18 months later, we won. That was real. That was okay, right? You all people tell me, don't do that. That beautiful, mellifluous voice. have to hear. So what happened was, what we realized we needed to do is make not just a change, but we had to have those organizing conversations. Those are the one-on-one conversations you have with the membership. We felt as if leadership were making decisions for us that did not reflect what was happening in our everyday classroom situations. And I don't care what anyone says, when you've been out of the classroom a year or 2 or 3 or 4, your perspective is different. I can't begin to know what it's like to be in a classroom. I've been out of it for 4 years. There have been sweeping changes in those 4 years. So for me to be able to speak with any kind of authenticity, it has to come from the membership. So I would ask that you all still, I know you all are activists and you're leaders of your locals, but you have to have those conversations, even those of you that are still in the classroom, with your members. Because the conversations you have to have with your members have to also be, how do we bring our parents, our communities in solidarity with us? Because that's who can put the pressure on government. Because they're the ones who will go vote. The key is to not only change the political landscape by finding candidates who support us and who believe in what we believe, but I am also going to say it is your responsibility to stand up to be those candidates. I used to tell our members, it is your responsibility to have relationships with what we call our state representatives, our state senators, and our aldermen. So I'm not sure exactly how it works here, but bear with me. Because those people, when they get ready to make decisions, should be thinking in their back of their heads, you know, I need to call Sue. I need to call Tom. I need to call Jim. Because they are the education experts. If we are the education experts, then we are the ones that should be involved in making policy. The people that are making policy now are ideologues. They don't really care one way or the other. They've been told this is the way to go by the people that have the money to support them to do that. Please understand that. I don't know how many political parties you have. We have one. With a couple of branches. In the United States right now, I believe we have one political party, and that's the party of money. And then we have Republicans and we have Democrats. And frankly, they get very angry when you try to tell them they're so much alike, what's the point? However, I can tell you in educational policy, there's no difference. There's no difference. So when people were complaining about No Child Left Behind, or as we like to say, No Child Left Untested, or No Test Company Left Unfunded, what we are seeing, though, is in that race to the top was No Child Left Behind on steroids. It's way worse. And when you talk to people, it's almost empowered that make policy. It's almost that they're confused that there's this pushback now. But if you think about it, 4 years, we have weathered the storm of every crazy new fad that has come out the pipe from some researcher, some academic somewhere who probably never spent a minute in a